Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First year, today we will study the topic in the chapter number 2, that is biological molecule. The types of the lipids are the classification of lipid, which is already to some extent we discussed. But here when we start the classification and especially the explanation of each type of the lipid, we need to revise the classification or the types of the lipids. So lipids are divided into three main categories, that is the simple lipids, the compound lipids and the derived lipids. And as mentioned on the board, that simple lipids, here in your book we will discuss the two examples of the simple lipids, that is acyl glycerol and waxes. Acyl glycerol already discussed by us, and today we will start from the waxes. And the next category is the compound lipids, which is the example of which is the phospholipids, glycolipids and lipoproteins. Means these lipids are the combination of the lipids with the other compounds, so we call it as a compound lipid. Like when phosphate is combined with the lipids, so it is known as phospholipids. When carbohydrates are combined with the lipids, that are known as the glycolipids. And when proteins are combined with the lipids, that are known as lipoprotein. The next category of the lipid is the derived lipids. Derived lipids are those lipids which in which some fatty acid and some glycerol are combined with the other very different chemical compounds, and these are known as the derived lipids, like the terpenes, the steroids and the prostaglandin. And all these are discussed here in this lecture one by one. Here we will discuss the waxes as acyl glycerol. The simple lipids are discussed earlier, so this is the second type of the simple lipids, waxes. Waxes are long chain fatty acid with alcohol, and these are highly hydrophobic compounds. Hydrophobic compounds are those compounds which are not soluble in water, or they repel water when mixed with the water. So those compounds are known as hydrophobic. And there are two main types of the waxes. One is the natural waxes and the second one is the synthetic waxes. As the name mentioned, that natural waxes are found naturally in different things, like in honeycomb. Some waxes are present in the sheep wool, some are present on the surface of the plant in the form of the cutin, and some are found in the internal structure of the plant roots, that is the suberin. So all these are found naturally, that is why they are known as natural waxes. And all these are show resistant to atmospheric oxidation, means where they present, they slow down the process of the oxidation. That is why mainly the function of these waxes is the protection, especially in plants and animals. While the synthetic waxes are those waxes which are made artificially, and these waxes are made from the different derived compounds, like the petroleum, polythene, and along with the long chain hydrocarbons like alcohol, aldehyde, ketones and fatty acids. And the example of these is like the waxes present in the candles, the waxes present in the lubricants material and the sealing material, which are used for the sealing of the roofs. So the wax present here, and all these are the example of the synthetic waxes. Next category of the lipid is the compound lipids. Compound lipids, we already discussed that there are so many examples come in this category, like phospholipid, glycolipids and lipoproteins. But here we will discuss the phospholipids, which is given in your book. Phospholipid is formed normally, commonly occurring phospholipids are formed when phosphatidic acid combine with other organic compounds like choline, ethanolamine, N-isotyl and serine. All these compounds are the organic compounds, and when phosphatidic acid combine with all these structures, all these chemical compounds that make the phospholipids. And here, as you can see the structure of the phospholipids, that in this category the two main material combine with each other. One is the organic compound and the other is the phosphatidic acid. Phosphatidic acid is a chemical compound in which phosphate is attached with the glycerol, and glycerol is then attached with the two fatty acids molecules. Is the structure mentioned that this is the phosphate group and the glycerol. This is known as phosphatidic acid. Phosphatidic acid in which the glycerol is attached, phosphate group attached to the glycerol, and glycerol is attached with the its first hydroxyl group, one fatty acid, and second hydroxyl group with the other fatty acids. So this is the structure from the phosphate, glycerol, and two fatty acids. This is phosphatidic acid, while when it combines with the choline, it forms the phospholipid. In this structure, you can see that this portion, choline, phosphate, and glycerol, this form the head, while this portion, the fatty acids, form the tail. The head portion is hydrophilic. Hydrophilic means that it cannot dissolve or soluble in water. It is soluble in water. It is known as water-loving portion because water can dissolve this portion. Hydrophilic, water-loving, while the tail portion is known as hydrophobic. Hydrophobic means water-hating, water-repelling. It means that it cannot dissolve in water when it is mixed with water. These phospholipids are very important in the making of the cell membrane, the membrane inside the cell, the different organelles provide a very strong and healthy support to the different parts of the cell as well as the cell membrane. Now, the next category is the derived lipids. Derived lipids, we already discussed that some examples are given in your book. Number one are the terpenes. Terpenes are derived lipids, and these are synthesized from the building blocks which are known as isoprene unit. And you can see the structure of the isoprene also given in your book, that is consists of mainly carbon hydrocarbons. Normally you can see that the carbon and hydrogens are linked with each other, in some places with single bond and some with a double bond. This structure is known as the isoprene unit. When two isoprene units combine with each other, forming a bond between them, they form monoterpenes like menthol. And sometimes when the four combine with each other, they form the diterpene like vitamin A, and some when six combine with each other, they form the triterpene like amberine. So these are the different types of the terpenes, and the natural rubber found in naturally we use in different material. That is also an example of the terpene, and which is a polyterpene, means many isoprene units combined in the structure of the natural rubber. The second example of the derived lipid is the steroids. Steroids are normally the high molecular weight lipids which can be crystallized, and it contains the nucleus of the 17 carbon atoms and arranged in the 4 rings. As you can see in the structure that there are 17 carbons, and these 17 carbons are arranged in the 4 rings. Each ring consists of 6 carbon, but only the last one have 5 carbons in the ring, and all these are combined and they form the structure of the steroids. The last one, ring, which consists of only 5 carbons instead of 6 carbon, this ring differentiates the different steroids from each other. The steroids are very important and they play many role in the living organism, especially the cholesterol, which is a large chemical compound and present in the membrane, the different areas of the body, that is also steroid. Human hormones like the male hormone testosterone, female hormone progesterone and estrogen, all these are examples of steroids, as well as the bile salt, which is produced from the liver and emulsify fats during the process of digestion, that is also an example of steroids. The next chemical compound in the derived lipids is the prostaglandin. Prostaglandin is naturally occurring chemical compound of the derived lipids, and this is a very important local hormone in the human especially, and also in many other animals. And these are, as the structure show, that this is derived from the arachidonic acid, and this is a 20 carbon fatty acid, and you can see here that the 20 different carbons combine with each other along with the carboxylic group at the end. Carbon number 2 is attached to the carboxylic group, and then these hydrocarbons along with the one ring structure and 20 fatty acids, they combine and they form the arachidonic acid, and this arachidonic acid then form the prostaglandin. These prostaglandin is considered to be a local hormone acting differently in different tissues. Depending upon the structure and the function of the tissue, it acts differently. For example, in some tissues it reduces blood pressure, while in other it raises the blood pressure. In some areas it causes fever, cause high temperature, induce fever. In some areas it causes the sensation of the pain. So it is the chemical compound which causes the pain, and when we use aspirin or aspirin for reducing the pain, it is actually the effect of the aspirin on the release of this prostaglandin. Aspirin reduce or stop the release of the prostaglandin, and then the sensation of the pain is stopped. So all these are the chemical compounds related are present in the different categories of the simple compounds and derived lipids and their functions.